fun. It's overall fun. I played a lot of other sports, but none of them really compare. The running's fun, contact, playing on muddy days, everything's fun.
And I guess people have like more fun playing in the rain. It's just the environment. It's like, yeah, it's a rainy day. It's a great day to play, you know.
Yeah, I'm anxious to get to playoffs with this team. It's probably one of the best defensive teams we've ever had. We've got a plethora of good defenders. You know, we don't get scored off very often, and that's kind of something that I'm a huge advocate of. You know, you can't. You know, they're not going to win if they don't score. So you can score all you want, but if you're giving up goals, it doesn't mean anything. So I preach defense, and we play pretty simple soccer too. And I don't strive to be their best coach. I just strive to be an influence on them that kind of brings it back to basics and brings it back to hard work. You're not going to have any results unless you work hard.
It makes me work harder than any other coach I've ever had. We just work hard. Our work ethic's the highest out of any school or team I've ever seen.
Practice almost 6 days a week here. And sometimes they're anxious to get out of that routine, but then when they're out of it, they realize, you know, that was pretty good. And we've beaten a lot of teams this year, 5 or 6 teams by 1 goal, and late in the game, and that's attributed directly to our fitness and our mental toughness. I think it's a pretty tough team.
Last year we had a really skilled team, and the fire didn't really seem there, but this year we've showed a lot of character. The players have shown a lot of character in their motivations in winning, and in times where we don't really think we'll do as well, we seem to pick it up a notch and meet the situation. So.
I was a redshirt last year. They get to practice and travel and everything, but they don't get to play. So what that does is like, it just sort of gives them like an extra year, so they get the experience, but then they still get to play like the 2 years. So it's sort of like playing 3 years, but it's not, because they don't get to play games in the first year. So.
The kid PJ, you're asking about redshirt, and that was a tough decision because PJ is good enough to play last year. But mentally and physically, he grew, he dedicated himself. He's one of our top players this year. Yeah. And I think some of them have aspirations to play pro, and I think that's great, but I don't know how realistic that is. One, it's, you know, you don't make a tremendous living as a professional soccer player in this country. And two, at the age they're playing now, usually in most countries, they're already developed into professional players if they're that good. So I try to foster just the idea of soccer being a tool, and they can move on and use soccer as a tool because they've played so much and they've invested so much time in soccer. Use it as a tool to move on and further their education.
I go to school to play soccer pretty much, and it's a privilege, and if you don't stay in school, there's no way I'd be playing right now, so it kind of goes hand in hand, my education and my athletic ability.
The players get on each other, and they push each other, which goes a heck of a lot farther than a coach yelling at you or challenging you, than you know, a player challenging you really steps it up. I mean, they don't like when one of their peers is challenging them. Ideas and standards that we set at practice carry over to a job. So for example, being on time and working hard and having a good attitude and working with people, and when things don't go your way, being able to handle that, those are all things that transfer over to the job world as well. It's a small little family here, but it's, you know, it's still a game. We're just playing a game. I don't make a bigger thing out of it, and I don't live it and wear my gear when I leave here. I take this off when I leave, and I'm a dad. I'm looking forward to going home and seeing my kids and my wife, and that's way more important than what we're doing. We're just playing a game. I mean, these guys are really lucky. They're lucky to be able to play at this level, and, you know, hopefully we make an experience that lasts a lifetime. And a lot of times we've done that. And kids come back a couple years later and realize what a neat experience it was. You know, you can't control weather, you can't control refereeing, you can't control bad luck, but you make your own luck. So we come out and work hard every day, and good things happen, usually.